Welcome, foolish mortals. Just kidding. Welcome, witches. Is that more appropriate? To day 4 of the coloring challenge. Yay! Today we're going to finish these spooky gravestones and all of the details on this Memento Mori postcard. So this postcard is a page from Coloring Book of Shadows, Season of the Witch. Yesterday we colored the background in black, and today we're going to continue with a dark green, a light green, a purple, and a yellow. Those are the Crayola colors that I used here, but you could use any brand and variations of green, purple, and yellow that you have. So this took about 20 minutes to finish up, and it's this part of the process where I really go slow and take my time. Starting out with the greenery and my lightest green, I'm kind of just shading everything light green. I'm maybe leaving a tiny bit of a white highlight when it's really close to the candle, but not much because I want all of these to be greenish, and then I'm going to add the dark green to really give it some variation. So right now, pretty much just a flat green on anything that's going to end up being green. And again, I challenge you to stick with the color scheme. I learned the hard way on this one. I decided to add some red, and it totally didn't really help. So I ended up doing the whole thing over again to keep it on the colors. So try to stick with the colors here. And then if you really want to do another one, you can. Obviously, it's up to you ultimately, but I would say give it a try. It's kind of cool to try new things. So what the heck? Stick with this color scheme. So then I have my darker green. This was pine, but you can use any darker green you have. And I'm just shadowing the other side of the leaves. So the candle is on my left here. So the plant's on the right-hand side of the leaf is getting the shadow. Shadows are opposite the light. And the opposite side is the opposite. If you want more instruction on this, I have a really cool class where we go way in depth and we color all sorts of epic grimoire pages and do in-depth shading and shadowing and art. It's the coolest witchy art class in the entire universe. So if you want to know more, you can sign up for that. Also, I have a lot more free videos on YouTube and all that. So definitely check those out as well. Anyway, continuing on here, on the left-hand side, the shadows are on the left because the candle's on the right. Again, if you need to add a little bit of highlight and you haven't gone too far, the eraser can help. Then I'm also kind of shifting back and forth if I need to fill in a little black, and then darkening the leaves even more with my pine green or my darker green. So the shadows opposite the light, again, the light's on the right, the shadows are on the left, and that changes on the perspective of the candle since the candle's in the middle. But again, this doesn't have to be perfect. You can see just a tiny bit of light towards the candle on those leaves really makes them pop out, even though I didn't get too technical with the light. Basically, imagine where is the light shining, or where's that candle shining, and then color that part with a little bit lighter color than the shadowy bits. So here I just have a regular old gray Crayola pencil, and same principle, shadows opposite the light. I'm blocking in the shadows of the gravestone. So all of those little thin edges of the graves, I'm leaving those white to leave a big contrast. So those thin sides of the graves, I'm just not even touching them with my pencil. I'm sticking to that flat front face, and just at the right-hand side in the bottom, a little bit at the top too, but just I'm imagining where the light's hitting it, kind of the center of that grave on the left-hand side, and then the rest of it is in shadow. Like I'm imagining a circle of shadow shadowing in on the gravestone. So where those two gravestones meet, there's even more shadowy space, so I've pressed even harder there. Then I'm going going back with the black and shadowing that lower right-hand side even more. That's going to be the shadowiest part. The light isn't hitting it there. The candle doesn't quite get to it. So that's going to be the darkest shadow. You can see I didn't even touch the center left part of the gravestone. I really left that white. And you can see the big effect that that makes on making it look super shadowy and spooky. Yes, I'm doing the left side of this, even though it's closer to the candle. That's because it's the inside of something. If you want more details on that, you'll have to take my class, which is really fun. So this one, let's see. So that's the same principle. The light's on the left, so the shadow's on the right. I'm leaving like half of that diagonally just in the white with the yellow highlight. Going back with the black, deepening that even a little bit more. Same thing on this one. So I left the edges of those, and then I'm going in with the gray pencil, doing that bottom right corner again. Then kind of looking at it and deciding where's the shadow, where's the highlight. Pretty much the same as the other two, but I'm still applying it really gently. This one, again, this is the inside-outside thing. If you're doing a deep object, the shadowing's on the opposite side. A little bit behind this leaf. Cool. So that looks so spooky, just with a few touches of gray and a little bit of black, and leaving a lot of white and yellow. So leaving that white space is an important part of the piece. So it's that mix of dark and light, which really makes it dynamic and also witchy. So go figure. Same on this side, but the opposite. So shadows opposite the light, light's on the right, shadows on the left. I know it may seem tricky at first, but it becomes second nature, especially if you practice. And yes, there are lots of examples in my awesome witchy art class. But you can see this is really shaping up. I'm taking my time here, just kind of looking at it and thinking, where does it need to be a little bit darker? Where does it need to be a little bit lighter? And just going according to that. Again, it doesn't have to be scientific. You can just be kind of basic with it, and it goes a long way, just leaving contrast. Like the gravestone second from the left, that's like half black, half white, a little bit of yellow, but you can see how far that goes. It really looks like there's light hitting the page. So this is just like a slow process. I look at it from a distance and I just keep going. I keep deciding where is it shadowing, where is it shading itself, and I just add more. So I'm going to speed up this last, 12 minutes or so. This entire piece without the background took maybe about 20 minutes or so for me to slowly shade everything in. And I'm just continuing with the gray. And then it's not too technical from this point. It's just sort of the same principles as before. Shadows are opposite the light for the most part. And I keep squinting and kind of looking at it and saying to myself, are the shadows dark enough? For the purple flowers, I'm mostly shading it on the opposite of the light side. So here when the light's on the left, the shadowy parts of the flowers are on the right, and the opposite on the opposite side. For the letters, just the tiniest touch of yellow at the bottom. I ended up adding purple to the top as well later, but for now I just started with the yellow. I used a white pen to block out the candle, but that's totally optional. You can just leave it with a black outline. I broke color scheme just to add a tiny bit of orange for the flame, but I think that worked okay. And then, I broke color scheme once more to grab brown for the candle, which was pretty neutral, and I think that worked out well too. But try to keep it as close to the colors as you can, just for the challenge and for the exercise. Do as I say, haha, just kidding. So right here, these are some Kuretake Starry metallic watercolors. I'm adding just a tiny bit of a silver glint on some of these gravestones. So it's a little bit hard to photograph, but when you see it in person, it's really cool. It has just like a little bit of a silver metallic glint on those that's very translucent. Of course, it's totally optional. You don't need to add that, but it's fun. Awesome. So same starry metallic watercolors here. Oh, first I'm just blacking in. I added silver accents, and then where it was a little much, here I went back and darkened the blacks just a little bit more over some of the silver, and just in general, I wanted the shadows to be deeper. So I went back in with the black pencil and I just deepened a lot of the shadows. A lot of it was over the silver. It's translucent, but it added a lot of light to the page. So maybe more light than I had wanted, so I just went back and darkened it in just a little bit more. Of course, however much shading you want to add is up to you. It could be more subtle with a little bit less, but I like it more shady and shadowy. Awesome. Wow, that looks so beautiful and spooky. I love it. It's gorgeous. So that's pretty much done as it is. I like to go around and fuss with the shading. So I took the black and I added more around the candle and maybe a little more brown, and just here and there things that I thought needed to be cleaned up. This line down here, I just kind of blacked it out and did anything that kind of caught my eye that I could clean up. So all of this is optional. Just do whatever you need to do to make your page look tidy. I also decided to add a little bit of purple to the top of the letters. They just had a glint of the silver paint, but I decided to clean that up with the black and then add a tiny bit of purple to the very top of those letters. So it kind of looked like the candle was lighting them up from the bottom, and then they were shadowy at the top. So I really liked that. Beautiful. That looks so nice and shiny and haunted and magical and elegant. So sticking to the color scheme really helped to keep it all together. And then that nice black background with the accent of the white is really nice too. So just for final finishing touches, this part's totally optional, but with the starry Kuretake in silver one more time, I used a splatter technique to add just a few little tiny stars to the sky. So basically you have one brush that has the metallic paint that's very thick, not a lot of water, but it still has to splatter. And then you tap that on top of a bigger brush, tap, 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 splatter, splatter, splatter. It's really, really fun. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you learned a lot in this challenge. Of course, you can find more witchy things to color in my book, Season of the Witch. And if you want to know more, I have a whole course filled with more magical coloring examples and epic grimoire pages that we'll do together. It's The Witch's Guide to Coloring. This was formerly called the Colored Pencil School of Witchcraft. I know sometimes I rename things. It's for the better. But anyway, I've added all sorts of new things. We go in depth with shading and color alchemy, and I'll show you step by step how to create these magical pages. It also includes rare PDF downloads of some of my special pages, as well as a couple other freebies and exciting things. I'll show you exactly how to do it so you can learn and grow and then go off and create all of your own magical stuff. So if you're interested, you can find the link at coloringbookofshadows.com and then just hit courses in the menu and you'll find it. And I'll also post it below. Thanks for watching and coloring with me. I hope you have a magical day.